Hello! It has officially been over a week since I started uploading daily videos online about my music, and I figured it's about time I should start making long form videos. I wondered what I should do for the first one. Should I run and record a whole new song, or just make lyrics to an already existing track, or maybe I should do something completely new? I settled on making a planned video for the next short part of my growth as an artist. Videos, albums, posts, we're gonna talk about all of them. What you gotta understand, I've been doing this for a long time. It's soon going to be the 6th year anniversary of me getting this guitar and this amp. And I've collected quite a lot of music and experience during that time. Case in point, this folder in my Google Drive. This folder is my life stream. Outside of my nearly 2,000 hours of Terraria, it is the thing that I'm most proud of in this whole world. It is a collection of most of the music I've ultimately played my entire life. Now that I've got like 60 songs here, what am I gonna do with them? Here's the plan. For every subscriber or follower goal I hit, 100, 1,000, 10,000, etc., I will release an album or EP. The process of writing and recording said project is what's going to fuel its publishing. Now, you may be thinking, what writing and recording? Don't you already have like 60 songs? And that's where, wrong you fool! Of all of those tracks, only 16 are fully written and recorded, and of the rest, I said less than half are walkable before we can songs that I'd be happy releasing. Even with those, I still need to record, edit, and master all of them, so there'll be plenty of work to be done. Now, for the albums themselves. Most of the tracks that I've written can be cleanly divided by the era of my music from when I wrote them, from right when I got the 6th string to my month biology series. I'm going to divide them into albums in the same way. Without further ado, here are the albums.
Stuck in here, the 6th string era.
This is the shortest one. I only seriously wrote in the 6th string for a couple of months, so there are only 5 songs. They aren't too complex yet, but I still like them, in spite of the reworks that they require. They are mostly lighter, fun black metal, though you can definitely feel both the thrash and metalcore that I started with. It is filled with my teen angst, but I feel that it gives it character. Here's the track list.
Round the leader.
A wild black metal ride, a lot of thrashing about, a bit of melodics. It's about deluding yourself from the best.
Stuck in here.
This is a combination of rock ballads and bullet for my Valentine's style metalcore. The lyrics are about feeling trapped in by yourself in your mental state and not getting any help.
Anchor.
This is my powerful black metal ballad that is drenched in positivity, very anthemic. It is about trying to get rid of that mental state.
Performance.
This one's a more mellow, instrumental track. It's kind of about the shifting cycles of the mental state, the highs and lows, that sort of stuff. And finally,
The Dirt Man.
remember the Dirt Man meme from a couple of years ago? Well, it's in the dirt right now. It was that even when I wrote the song, but the song still slaps, so I'm keeping it. It's a rock ballad about mortality and nihilism and all that. But I'm going to rewrite it to make it less stupid and childish.
Early 8. Going heavy.
During the first 2 years after I got the 8th string, I was writing non-stop. Half of my tracks in this folder are just from this 1 year alone. Most of them are also relatively finished songs, though I ain't too happy with a lot of them, so it'll still be a normal length album, if not a bit short. These are a mishmash of different styles, so I'll need to put some work to work them into a coherent album together, but I'll try. Here's the track list.
Burning High.
This one's a metalcore epic about growing up. I worked really hard on the harmonies, you're gonna love it.
Angel.
This is a song about religious trauma. It certainly has its drawbacks, being written by a 14-year-old girl, but I'll get it fixed up, lyrically and instrumentally.
Alarm.
This one's a heavy song about waking up to see what's wrong with the world, and its people. Throne, gotta watch out. Same deal, Throne and Nocturnes were big inspirations about this song, about feeling trapped in the press, plenty of that.
awake and asleep.
Thal aplenty. It's a ridiculously heavy piece. It's about the emotions of it all, seeing everything unfold around us and just wanting to ignore it.
Trico.
This is a fast, landmarks-inspired song to head back to hard. I'm going to rap even harder over this one. It's not a drench.
Dirty.
You thought it was done ripping people off? Nah, here's a fast, brutal song that Cat Decapitation would be proud of. I can't promise I'll do the vocals justice, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun.
Half-fall.
That's what it sounds like. Happy Thal. To counter all that negativity, you know. I went hard on my DT whammy for this one. I'll try to be as energetic with my vocals.
Uncanny.
This is my magnum opus, my favorite songs I've written to this day. The riff, the harmonies, the melodies. They're not insanely complex, but they are oh so beautiful. One might say they're uncanny.
Simpler time.
This is a necrotropical style song, but when you go back to simpler times, when everything was less complex, you didn't have to worry a lot. This first song is kind of a capper to the album, and its final message.
Bonus track. Uncanny Symphony.
Since I loved Uncanny so much, I ended up doing 4 separate versions of it. The original, a version just for acoustic guitar, a version for piano, cello, and violin, and finally one for a whole orchestra. I think it would be a neat addition at the end of the album.
Unsafe lab practices. Biology songs.
To understand these tracks, you need some backstory. See, in 10th grade, I chose the music and biology electives. They didn't mix at all until 11th grade. Then my biology teacher, who's a huge Harry Potter fan, inspired by black mold, decided to split all of the students into 4 houses that would compete for a house cup at the end of the year by accruing points. The houses were named after biological twins: actin, genome, mitochondria, and vesicle. Just so you know, I was at House Genome, and we had a 60-point lead over second place. However, the teacher decided to pull a Dumbledore, and Dumbledore dumped a ton of points onto mitochondria, who were in last place, just to make them win the last possible place. Anyway, when she heard that I was a musician, she asked that I write songs for each of the house and the elective as a group, and these are the results.
Study.
This is a slam song about studying hard and getting good grades, lest you be banished from your house.
No genome from genome.
Hello, Infantanaria to call. They want their child sugar back. This was the first song that I wrote, and it's thus stylistically quite different, though it still is a really fun piece. Just don't let the copyright office know.
The Powerhouse.
This is a mix of disco and metal sung by the Mitochondria, who, if you didn't know, are the powerhouse of the sound. Fun riffs, jumpy drums, heavily processed vocals. I think it's one of my more unique songs.
Cellular Celibate.
The song for actin. It explains what actin is by reading lines from Wikipedia over inspired works.
Phagocytes Battle Cry.
Your immune system is being attacked! Now, the white blood cells need to swallow the viruses by using vesicles. Probably the best instrumental here, with a fun hook and powerful riffs.
Biology.
This is the hymn or anthem for the entire elective. Neoclassical and brutal, this one has it all. Literally, it's currently not much more than a riff salad.
Festivities.
This last one is very special. See, all the songs here are songs about a holiday that I wrote while the holiday was taking place. This means that all the songs flow really naturally and are very much in the vibe of the holiday. Because all of the songs were written in a short time, they are generally simpler and more casual, which gives them a homely feel. I say when I'm under pressure, I like to default to writing the system of down, since they are my most listened to artist by far, and that is definitely coming through in these songs. However, because I'm also writing them during the holiday, that means I need to release them in a limited time. I started with Hanukkah in last year's December, so I need to finish it in half a year next December, and my family and friends won't let me delay it any further because they're hounding me for its release. Anyway, the songs.
The revolution of the Maccabees, Mered HaMaccabee.
The first one I read. The entire thing came to me at once when someone told me I could write songs about these holidays. So I finished the entire thing in 3 hours. It was modeled after Greek party songs with the help of my Ozuki. The lyrics are sometimes reciting traditional Hanukkah songs, sometimes this is the time to office, and sometimes talking about watching the parade, which
Mordecai's story, הסיפור של מרדכי.
This is a total soul rip-off. The song abbreviates the story of the scroll of Esther in a really fun way. Love the instrumentals, love the vocals, can't get enough.
The fathers and the plays, האבות והמכות.
This is the longest one, since Passover is the longest holiday. This tells the story from Abraham to Moses. I went through so much to write and record it, and I'm so happy with the results. I'm sure you'll love it too.
Campfire story, Chizbet Lohet.
This is a weird one. Part punk-inspired riffs, part Middle Eastern pop, and Jim the Quadrille and black metal mix. It tells the story of how me and my friends made a campfire in the woods and accidentally burned that forest down, so all of the crack players came to help us put the fire out. Also, we killed the enemy. There are several holiday songs that are yet to be written, but when the whole thing is done, it will be a magnificent celebration of culture and religion. It's a festive party.
Honorable mentions.
These are tracks or concepts that either won't get released ever or are very far away from in terms of being written and produced.
The Dark Ages.
There were periods in my life where I produced a ton of songs that were absolutely horrible, so much so that I didn't even make it to the folder. When I was 12, I wrote so many horrible rap songs with my friends. When I just got the sixth string, I wrote like 5 whole songs that were just edgy, worthless, garbage, and even some 8-string songs are that trash. I shudder to think that I posted some of these online at some point, and I hope they never see the light of day again.
Festivities Part 2.
The Festivities album that I'm writing right now is just about Jewish holidays, but if I have the time next year, I would love to make a part 2 where I go over all the holidays from other religions, mixing Christian, Muslim, Hindu, and so many other religious holidays together in appreciation would be a really fun, beautiful collection.
Genesis.
In the same way as Festivities, I want to write songs about the entirety of the first book of the Bible, Genesis. I have several lines of lyrics and some riffs that I think really encapsulate the stories well. It's not like I'm particularly religious, but I view these stories as great pieces of literature that have shaped the world today, and I want to give them a proper look and give them my own spin. That's all from me. Who knows when or if these albums will come out? That part is up to you, if you will. Please tell me how I did in this video in the comments. Share, like, subscribe, whatever. Thank you. I've been Adam, sole member of the Audio Gnome band, signing out.